Hi everyone, welcome back. For today's mani, we're going to be dipping into dip powders from Kande Dips, and we're going to be playing with a really awesome floral dip powder, and we are going to be doing the gel method today. But before we dive into those florals, we're going to dive into cherry, which is the perfect red. Just from dumping it into that cupcake liner, I got a little bit of it on my gloves, and it is just very rich in color. But spoiler alert, there is very minimal staining on my brush when we go in with that second dip, which is awesome. So if you've ever struggled with any like reds leaving staining in the cuticle line or staining on your liquids or brushes, definitely give this one a whirl. This is a great red to have in your collection. It's not too bright, it's not too dark. It's like that perfect in between, like Jolly Rancher cherry red. It is gorgeous and it has a really awesome finish to it. So we're going to end up doing 2 coats of this color right here. This is going to be the nails that we're just going to leave plain because we want that floral dip powder that we're going to be diving into called Blossom to kind of be the center of attention. So we're going to be doing a very simple mani, but yet we're still going to have those really fun pops of flowers on the other nails to kind of just tie everything in. To be honest with you, I love simple manis. You don't necessarily need to do ombres, color blocking, adding decals or anything like that. You can just keep things simple and still have a beautiful mani. Plus, it's a good way for you to see these colors in action. So that is what we're doing today, a very simple floral mani. Not only is this going to be perfect for Valentine's Day, but this is also going to be perfect for upcoming spring to grab some of these floral dips. They're just really fun to work with, which you're going to see here in a minute. All right. So cherry is a game changer with that second coat here. It is everything. It is the perfect juicy red. I love it so much. So right here, you can see that color payoff from 2 dips versus 1. That second dip is everything. So I finished the rest of the dips off camera just to save some time so we could dive into the star of the show today, which is Blossom. All right, so we're doing the gel method. So the same thing, a very thin layer of gel base on that nail, and then we're going to dip into that cupcake liner here. Now the first dip, you just want to build up the base layer. Do not be concerned if you do not pick up any of those beautiful flower pieces because we are going to build it up as we go. I also love how this floral has this like most beautiful milky base to it, which is really just going to make those flowers pop. It's also going to create a very awesome layering effect in between each layer of flower. It's going to give it like this really beautiful touch with like this milkiness over it. And I love floral dip powders, especially that do not have a clear base, that have like that milky base like this one does here. All right, so now that we have that first dip in, we're going to cure for 30 seconds. We're going to dust off. And then we're going to work on this nail right here from start to finish with the floral. So we're going to do a very thin layer of gel base. The thinner the layer of gel base you use, the better. So now I am dipping into that cupcake liner here, and I am just focusing on some of those flowers here. And check it out. We have some of these beautiful flowers here. Oh, that one fell off. But now I'm just going to take my time and just gently press everything down. And just make sure it's key to press everything down before you cure it, because that's what's going to help have these very smooth, seamless transition layers in between each dip. Now we picked up some red, we picked up some pink, and you can see some of them have like these little stems on it. It's very elegant, it's very dainty flowers, and they do just become one with the nail. But the key thing to take away from this mani is just make sure you take time to do very thin layers of gel base and take time to press everything down. All right, so now we're going in with a third dip. This is totally optional. If you do not want to go in with a third dip, you could always just start hand placing. So right now you can see we definitely picked up more here, and you can see how the new flowers are more vibrant in color, and then the flowers that we had on that other dip have like this like sheer milkiness over to it, which gives it just like this soft, delicate look. I love it so much. It's so fun. This right here is just a very overall easy way to add some like effortless nail art. So again, just pressing everything down before we cure, because once we cure, these flowers are going to stay exactly where they are, and this nail is going to be ready to go. And now we're going to go ahead and apply a little bit more flowers here. So after we cured, I'm going to go ahead and do another layer of gel base here. And I'm not concerned about bulk or anything like that because we are pressing everything down as we go, and we are doing very thin layers. Now, what I'm doing is I'm taking a precision tool. You can use an orange wood stick as well. And I am just picking up some of these little flowers here. And I am focusing on all the colors here from the red and the pink. I will say that these flowers are super, super fragile and delicate, but yet they're so fun to add to the nail because once those flowers hit either your dip base or your gel base, they kind of just like absorb into that nail and become one. It's super fun. Also, these flowers are not bleeding. Sometimes when you're working with flowers that have reds in them or pinks, they can tend to bleed into that base, but I'm not having any problems with any bleeding with these flowers. Now, when it comes to hand placing flowers, you could add as many as you want, or you do not need to add flowers if you do not want to. You could keep it very light and delicate and keep it how we organically dipped it. So anytime you use a floral dip powder as well, you're always going to get a different look or outcome depending on how the flowers kind of lay on the nail after you dip. Also, I will say that this flower combination of the pink and red is so beautiful. There's just something about it, these colors right here. It's definitely giving me all those Valentine's Day feels, and this right here would be perfect for springtime. But right here we just added one of those bigger flowers and it is just becoming one with that nail. We're just going to add one more little petal here, and then to absorb any extra gel base here, I am going to go ahead and dip back into the powder here just to absorb any of that gel base, and it's also going to give us a little bit more of that milky effect here, which I love because it just makes like the flowers just look even better, I feel like, with that like milkiness over it. So now I'm just going to go ahead and press everything down here before we cure for one last time. But here is our first flower nail, and I love it so, so much. I really also like how this has like a layering effect to it between the layers of all the flower petals, and then it's covered by that milkiness, so they're just like slightly peeking through. It's overall a really just beautiful, beautiful powder. All right, so now we're gonna finish up this other nail here. I will say with this nail here, when I went in with the second and third dip, I wasn't picking up as many flowers, which is completely okay. Like I said before, anytime you're dipping with a floral powder, no matter how you're dipping, you're always going to pick up different flowers, and it's going to look different than that other nail that we dipped in. That's natural because each flower is cut differently, and now you can see here we picked up like more petals, but I'm completely okay with that because we are going to add more flowers as we go. All right, so let's finish up this floral nail here and add some more flowers to it, and then I'm going to pop back in just a few moments. All right, now that we finished hand placing the flowers on this nail is ready to go. So for filing and buffing, I am just cleaning up the sidewalls, the free edge, and reshaping ever so slightly. That is all I needed to do when it came to this nail. I did not need to buff directly on the top of that nail because everything was laying super flat. So I did just take it off that little press-on stand so I could really make sure I was getting underneath those sidewalls and the free edge there. And that's it. So when you press everything down and take that extra step and do very thin layers, you can have very minimal filing and buffing when it comes to the gel method, which I love so much. I go through phases. Sometimes I love filing and buffing. Most of the time I hate it, but gel method is definitely easier for me when it comes to filing and buffing. So I did the rest of the filing and buffing off camera, and you can see everything is just coming together. Then to seal in this mani, we're gonna do a layer of gel base on all the nails. I'm just doing a very thin layer, and then I'm curing as we go for 30 seconds. Now I do love the Model 1's brand for making press-ons. If you are looking for a HEMA-free formula, the gentle formula from Sundara Nails is definitely a great option, especially if you've ever struggled with any gel allergies or anything like that. The Sundara Nails gels are HEMA free, they're HPMA free, and they're also TPO free. So a lot of people that have experienced gel allergies can transition into those and experience no problems. All right, so I am curing again for a full 30 seconds, and then to seal in the mani for the perfect shine, we're going in with a layer of gel top coat and curing for 60 seconds. And here's our finished mani. I love that floral dip powder. There's something about the two different colors here. We have that pink and the red. It is such a beautiful combination with that milky base, and you can really see that layering there. And I love how those floral petals do not bleed into each other. So you have like that seamless floral powder or petal transition. I just love it so much. And then we have that pop of bright red with cherry. So stay tuned. We will be doing applying florals with the dip liquids here on my channel coming up. So stay tuned for that. That's just going to be in a few days. And then everything that we did use in today's video can be found in that description box below. So I hope you enjoyed this floral mani with the gel method, and I'll see you all in the next one.